Howdy folks, this is my 5-year career plan for my ITT 1000 course at Century College. In this presentation, I will discuss important things like what skills are required to be a forensic analyst, what are the certification requirements, what's the job outlook, as in market trends, what obstacles am I going to have to overcome, what jobs am I looking at. I learned a lot by doing this project. So, if you want to learn what I learned, come follow me. Take a journey. See what I learned. Let's first talk about what skills are required to be a forensic analyst. This list was made by Champlin College. The first thing on the list was technical aptitude. This means, of course, you'll have to have knowledge of computers in order to be a forensic analyst. You can't come in clueless to being a computer forensic analyst because computers are in the name. You have to have knowledge of computers like Windows and Mac. In my opinion, Windows and Mac are the two most common operating systems. But that doesn't mean you should know more about Linux or Novell, because even though those systems are less common, you still could have the opportunity to do forensics on them. You never know what's going to be important in your case. So that's why it's always important to know about different operating systems. Number 2, attention to detail. In a forensic case, you never know what detail might be important to your case. You might come across a letter from mother that you might think contains no clues whatsoever, but you still have to analyze it with an open mind. Number 3, an understanding of law and criminal investigation. You have to have knowledge of how a warrant is constructed. The warrant will tell you what you can look for, how you look for it, how deep you can go inside a person's computer, and stuff like that. So it's important you have a law enforcement background and understand how the law works. Number 4, communication skills. It is always important to communicate to a jury your findings. Because if you don't know how to communicate to a jury, your entire case could go out the window because they don't understand something that you said. It's important to talk to a jury in language that they'll understand so that they'll understand where you're coming from. And having good communication skills can help you with that. Number 5, you gotta have an understanding of cybersecurity fundamentals. Identity theft is very prevalent in the forensic field nowadays. So it's important to have knowledge of cybersecurity protocols because it's important to know how different pieces of malware can affect an investigation. A suspect might put malware on the system to claim that the malware made him do a certain thing. So it's important to know how malware works. Number 6, analytical skills. This goes back to the second skill we learned. Attention to detail. You have to have good analytical skills, know what little clues to follow, and how to analyze those clues. Like, if you're working a missing persons case, and you know that person's supposed to be at a bakery every Tuesday to meet her friends for lunch, and she's not there. You know by looking at her computer calendar that she was supposed to be there on a Tuesday, and she's not there. So, it's important to know how to analyze those clues and have a good, sharp mind that way also. Number 7, a desire to learn. Things are always changing. It's important to keep current on technology and know what's always changing in operating systems. When Microsoft introduced BitLocker and Windows Vista, that caused a lot of problems for computer forensic examiners because it provided a way to encrypt files. So I assume criminals were using that to hide stuff. So it's important to know what has changed in the computer world. Be aware of that. Number 8, ability to work with changing material. You have to work within a changing world. You have to learn how different technologies work, like different smartphones as well, because that can be a big part of your investigation also. Let's talk about the most common forensic certifications. Next, the first certification that I'd like to talk about is EnCase Certified Examiner, or ENCE. This is a written exam plus a hands-on practical examination where they have you use the software to solve problems. Access Data Certification Examiner, or ACE. This is a multiple choice exam. And it's also, I think it's got a hands-on practical with it. That's completed with the Access Data software. The Certified Computer Forensic Examiner, or CCE for short. The testing itself costs $395. It consists of a written exam plus a hands-on practical application. And you must not have a criminal record. So if you have a criminal record with the police, you're up a creek without paddle. This list was made by Ann Martinez at Go Certified. The forensic market, according to an article called Digital Forensics Market Size, was estimated to be worth $31.14 billion as of 2007. When the year 2023 comes around in a couple years, that number is going to jump to $5.37 billion. So, quite a bit of a jump there, to 2 million increase to be exact. This increase is thought to be due to a rise of people using the internet in places like China, where the internet's not very common, and the increase is also thought to be due because more people are using the cloud to store their data nowadays. It's not very common to store your data on your computer where there's a chance that you would lose your data without backing it up. So most people back up their data to internet service nowadays. Which increases the need for computer forensics. Okay, now that we got the boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about the good stuff. The money. According to PayScale, the average salary for computer forensics is $71,809 at a yearly rate. The average for hourly rate is $26, so a little bit more than they pay at McDonald's. I've looked for jobs throughout Minnesota, and my two favorite companies so far are Roll On Track, which is a data recovery firm out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and Computer Forensic Services out of Minneapolis. If a job comes about in the Mankato area or southern Minnesota area, I would like to move there. But if it doesn't come about, I would really like to get a job in the Eden Prairie area because it's closer, a little bit closer to my family, kind of in between northern Minnesota and southern Minnesota there. So, kind of the perfect sandwich. Does my 5-year career plan provide a solid foundation? All in all, I'd have to say yes. And it's not just because I worked on it for a couple weeks straight. Although I did work on it for a couple weeks straight. But I do believe I did enough research on Roll On Track in particular because that's my first choice for a job. I think if I go in there and show them that I researched the benefits and I researched all the stuff on the opening salaries, I think I'll have a leg up on the other candidates. So yes, I do think that my 5-year career plan would provide a solid foundation. One of the biggest obstacles I feel I'll have to encounter when searching for a job is how to get from point A to point B. Most people who are not in wheelchairs have to find a way to get to work, but they can usually just either borrow a friend's car or get a lift or carpool with somebody. I can't just hop into any car that I want, especially here in the metro area. The busing system is not the best. Mostly, when I go to Century, I set up an appointment 30 minutes before I have to be at class, just so that I can get to class on time. So this is going to be a huge obstacle for me when I get to the working environment. Of course. In conclusion, I would like to conclude that even after doing this project, I still want to be a forensic computer analyst because I've been wanting to do this ever since I was in middle school. I mean, this has been my lifelong dream. So I'm not going to quit just because there's some obstacles due to my disability. That's not who I am. And I know now what's important in forensics, like what to study for in forensic certifications and what areas to study. I'm taking cloud computing next semester, so I know that is going to be very important in my career, so I'll pay extra attention next semester in cloud computing. I think that'll help me out a great deal, but in a nutshell, I'm not going to quit just because there are some obstacles with transportation. I mean, that would be stupid to give up a lifelong dream just because of there being obstacles with transportation. And I want to be a role model for other people with disabilities. I want to show them that they can achieve their dreams. And that's my mission in life. Thank you for listening. This is just my works cited page. I would like to give a shout out to Champlain College for providing the list of skills required to be a computer for